How is everyone doing? And welcome to the Stat Room. Ladies and gentlemen, I am VonnTheStatman. You can follow me on Twitter at VonnTheStatman. And guys, check out my website, VonnTheStatman.com. Now, you might want to go on my website a few times a week because I might be giving out a few hidden gems that can help you to win your DFS contest each week and to also help you dominate your fantasy leagues. So y'all ready?
All right, guys, so let's go over the NFL Week 5 results. QB Brady, 19.74, did good. Running back Fournette, 30.9, balled out. Evans did a 10, that's pretty decent. Tight end Goddard, 13.5, balled out. Bills Mafia, 14 points, balled out. My spreads was 2 and 3, but guys, I'm going to get back on track with my spreads. I'm still at 55%. So now let's go on the Fanduel website so I can pick my 3 games that I want to break down. All right, guys, let me give you my 3 games I want to break down. And first, I want to talk about the New York Jets and the Green Bay Packers. Guys, the Green Bay Packers are a pretty good team against the pass, but not against the run, so we want to stay away from Zach Wilson. But at the running back position, guys, I like Bryce Hall and Carter. Carter had 2 touchdowns in the last game, but Bryce Hall is getting all the work. 18 carries, 2 targets. He had 100 yards and 2 targets. That won't happen again this week, but I do still like him to get you about 18 fantasy points. At the wide receiver position, guys, I like one guy. I like Corey Davis. I don't like Wilson and Moore. They both got 4 targets there. They don't seem to be getting a lot of targets, but if you're playing GPP, I do love the tight end Conklin because you will have to throw the ball a little bit against Green Bay, and I think Conklin will be the guy that's wide open because Green Bay has great cornerbacks, but I think you can maybe attack the linebacker position. So Conklin will be in play as well. So now let's go look at the Green Bay Packers side of the ball. So if you look at the Green Bay Packers side, I'm not going to pick Aaron Rodgers, guys, because he hasn't even had a 20 fantasy point game. They more of a dink and dunk type of a team. He's throwing 5-yard screens, and I wouldn't run Aaron Rodgers. And this would be the week that he mess around and get 25 or 30 fantasy points. I love both of the running backs from Green Bay. I think both of them will do well. I think they both get into the end zone this week, so I do like both running backs. Now, at the wide receiver position, Lazard is the man. When the game is in hand and Rodgers is looking for a play, a first down, he's going Lazard way. Lazard had an off game and still got 11 fantasy points, so I really like Lazard. And Cobb is going to get more involved as the weeks go on. He had 13 targets, caught 7 for 99. I like him again this week. I believe that Cobb gets into the end zone. They had a chance for him to get into the end zone, and Aaron Rodgers missed him. Dobbs is hit or miss, so he's a rookie. He's going to have his mistakes. So that's it from this game. So the next game, we're going to talk about Jacksonville and Indiana. I don't like Trevor Lawrence in this matchup, even though he did well against Indiana. The last time, the Colts didn't have their all-pro wide receiver, so that was the difference in the game, and their all-pro linebacker, who I expect to come back this week. So you should see a difference in the game. I don't like Robinson or ETN, and at the wide receiver position, teams are taking Christian Kirk out, so I wouldn't play him this week. But if I was going to pick a player from Jacksonville, it would be Marvin Jones. And also, I love the tight end. I'm liking Ingram. He's getting more involved. If you look at it, his targets are going up. He had 10 targets last week. I believe this is the week that Ingram also gets into the end zone. Now, if you look at the Indianapolis Colts, at the QB position, I believe Ryan can get you 16 to 18 fantasy points because when they faced the Jacksonville Jaguars early in the season, he didn't have his number 1 wide receiver. But that's not the case. This time, he should be playing. I don't expect Taylor to come back, but if he does, then you can always run him. But at 8,000, he hasn't really made value yet. He had the one big game week 1, but since then, he hasn't really earned the right to be worth 8,000. He's like a 6'8" running back right now. Now, this Deon Jackson guy, I love Deon Jackson, guys. He played well last week. If he would have gotten to the end zone, 17 fantasy points. This week, I believe he will get into the end zone. And then Lindsey showed why he's a great running back. Like, to have Lindsey as your 3rd running back, this is a luxury to have. So I'm liking Lindsey. If he'd have gotten to the end zone, he gets you 12 fantasy points. I like either one of these backs this week, but I love Pittman and Pierce. I think that these guys are going to both be explosive. I think that this is the week where I think they're going to have everything rolling because the Colts, they are starting to get into shape, guys. So this is the week where I think they're going to put it together and they're going to show you that Jacksonville is still Jacksonville and they're not a playoff team just yet. Now, Mo Alley Cox, when he gets involved, guys, he's amazing. But it's so hit or miss. You know, he did well against Tennessee, but other than that, he's getting 3. So he's unpredictable. So now, guys, let's go to the last game, which is San Francisco and Atlanta. I don't like anybody from Atlanta. This is a one-sided contest. I like Garoppolo. I believe this is going to be the game where Garoppolo is going to throw 3 touchdowns, and he might even go for 300 yards. I like Garoppolo to go for 20 points in this matchup, and I like both of his running backs. Coleman had 2 touchdowns, but he only had 23 yards. Don't expect that again. I expect Wilson to get between 18 and 20 fantasy points, so I love him as well. And then you have Debo. I think this is the week. I think this is the week. Debo, if you look at it, he's been decent. Double-digit fantasy points in every game. He's only had one 20-point game. He hasn't had that 30-point game. And I think this is the week where you get that 30-point game. And I also like Ayuk in this matchup. And Kittles, who has not really been involved. But remember, he was coming off of an injury. So if you look at it, they're slowly pushing him up. He had 6 targets in the last game. This is the game where I believe he gets a little bit more because him and Garoppolo has an amazing rapport. So that's it, guys. So now you want to win your fantasy? Start these players. If you like this so far, hit the like button, share this video, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You want to win your fantasy? Start the 49ers defense. They holding teams to 12.9 fantasy points, and they on the road against Atlanta. So you want to win your fantasy? Start the 49ers defense. You want to win your fantasy? Start QB Allen. His lowest fantasy point game of the season was 24.5. He's playing against Mahomes. He has 2 great wide receivers, and he's going to be in a high-scoring game. So you want to win your fantasy? Start QB Allen. You want to win your fantasy? Start wide receiver Diggs. You want to know why? Because he's getting 10 plus targets per game. And if the Chiefs defense couldn't stop wide receiver Adams, wait till they get a load of this route running specialist in wide receiver Diggs. And he's also Allen's favorite target, and he's also Allen's goal line target. So you want to win your fantasy? Start wide receiver Diggs. You want to win your fantasy? Start running back Wilson. You want to know why? Because he has a great defense that will give him more opportunities to score. And secondly, he's averaging about 17 touches per game over his last 4 games. And lastly, he's playing against Atlanta. You want to win your fantasy? Start running back Wilson. You want to win your fantasy? Start tight end Kittle. You want to know why? Because this is his 4th game back from injury, and he will get 6 plus targets, and he should get a TD this week. So you want to win your fantasy? Start tight end Kittle. If you like the video, start the Stat Man by subscribing to my channel, hitting this like button, leaving me a comment, let me know what you think about my content. And also, guys, here's the website again, VonnTheStatman.com, and also my Twitter handle, @VonnTheStatman. And guys, don't forget to win-win. That means give people what they want so you can get what you want. And guys, don't forget to think in ink. That means write it down so that way it can come true. So good hunting on your DFS contest. Love you guys.